Hey guys, what's up? I hope that you guys are doing good today. My name is Alicia. If you're new here, I hope that you will take the time to subscribe before you leave. I have got a ton of new indie palettes, and while I would like to get these up as soon as I can for you guys, I only have 2 eyes, and so I at least wanted to show you guys these because I know that Black Friday is coming up. There's going to be sales going on. There are already sales going on. So I wanted to get these palettes up for you guys in case you were interested in, maybe picking any of these up for yourself or for a gift. Now, as I mentioned, these are indie brands, so these are less known brands. However, these are some of my favorite palettes in my collection. Now, I know that I have not used these yet, but I'm talking about like the way they look, the way they make me feel. Like, I love these palettes. So let's go ahead and get into this video. All right, first off, I want to go ahead and start with Odin's Eye because I do have several from Odin's Eye. Now, the first one that I want to talk about is a little mini palette. This is the Erd palette, and I got this as a recommendation from Batty Bean. A lot of these are actually recommendations from Batty Bean. I just love her. I love her style. I love how like colorful but grungy and wearable her looks are, and I feel like when I'm wearing color, that's really kind of the route that I like to take as well. And so she loves greens and she loves purples and things as well, just like me. And this is this color story. I love it. It's greens, but I feel like it's something different, I mean, you've got this like almost pastel type of a green here. Then you've got like this dark grungy shimmer. Then you have got this really dark like muddy type of a color. And I mean that in the best way possible. You've got this like matte army green, and then you have got these 2 beautiful shimmers. One of them looks like a minty blue, and then this looks like one of those white like shifty type of shades. And yeah, I cannot wait to use this. The packaging on these as well, if you've never felt a palette from Odin's Eye, it's like a textured outer packaging, and it is just, it's beautifully detailed, and you will see as we get into some of these other ones as well. Another one I picked up is the Norns. So this is also from Odin's Eye. The next 3 are going to be from Odin's Eye after this one as well. But this is the packaging here. Again, it just looks like a little fairy dream, right? And then you open it up, and I absolutely love this color story. I feel like you have so many different options in here. These shimmers on the bottom are super duper bright. They are, going to be attention grabbing shades. I specifically love this color here and this one. These 2 of the shimmers I like cannot wait to put on. And then everything else in here I feel like is very like everyday wearable, even like grungy type of feels with these greens and like these type of blues down here as well. But yeah, I think that this is another just absolutely gorgeous palette, and I cannot wait to use it. You guys are gonna have to let me know, which ones of these you want to see first. All right, this is one that actually released a while ago, and I was kind of kicking myself. Like, I think it sold out several times, honestly. But I finally picked this palette up. This one was in collaboration with Angie. I will have her YouTube channel linked down below. She does a lot of beautiful, colorful looks as well. And while I don't do color, every day, I do still like to dabble in color every once in a while. So this is the outer packaging here. I think it is absolutely beautiful. It looks like a tattoo or something, right? I don't know. I think it's really cool. It's very interesting. And then you open it up, and it is a ton of greens and pinks. I don't wear pinks all that often, but I do like a pink eye every once in a while. And I love all of these greens. I feel like it's very, very different kind of shades. You even have like a little bit of yellow going on. So this row in particular, I absolutely love that row. And I could kind of see, you know, this palette laid out into rows as far as how you get your looks. Of course, you can mix and match this any way you want, but to me, I mean, that makes sense how it's laid out. And then next up, I have the 2 holiday palettes from Odin's Eye. And first off, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Christmas Eve palette. And I want to mention that when you order things from Odin's Eye, they come so well protected. And these just feel like luxurious. I feel like whenever you're opening them up, like the way they feel, they're sturdy. The stuff on here is like raised. I mean, it just feels nice. It feels like you are opening up something special. And I just think this would be a really cool gift if you have any makeup lovers. Now, out of the 2 palettes, the newer ones, I would say this is probably my favorite of the 2 color stories. Again, I love greens, purples, and this has got, again, pops of yellows, but kind of like more grungy type of yellows. I think this right here would kind of be a pretty look. And I could see this kind of laid out in quads now that I mentioned that. But this is another just gorgeous, very interesting palette. Do you see how dimensional these shimmers are? I cannot wait to dig into these palettes. And guys, I didn't even address how I'm looking right now. I just got back from the gym after working all day. And if you did not catch this makeup look, this is like my everyday go-to makeup. I'll have that video linked down below. But this is after working a full day and doing a workout. This is over 12 hours wear. We're probably at like 14 hours right now. So if you haven't checked it out, it'll be down below in case you're interested. And next up, I want to go ahead and talk about the Merry Christmas palette. Again, this is like raised. It feels nice. Beautiful artwork on these. All of these from Odin's Eye. It is gorgeous artwork. And then you open this one up. And I will say this one definitely gives me Christmas vibes. I mean, you've got all your greens, you've got reds, you've got golds. And a lot of the times, like reds and golds, like smoky type of eyes, that reminds me of the holidays. I don't know what it is about it, but again, this is just another gorgeous palette. And again, I could see these kind of laid out in quads, how these palettes were, you know, how you can do looks with these palettes. We got through the Odin's Eye ones. Next up, I want to talk about 2. This is from Fantasy Cosmetica. I had never heard of this brand. And again, I saw these on Baddie Bean and they just looked amazing. Now, the one that she was really recommending is the Bard. However, I am kind of more interested in the Druid, but I'll go ahead and show you the Bard palette. There is like one other one in this collection, and I don't remember the name of it, but these were the 2 that caught my eye. So here is the Bard palette here. These kind of look creamy, like a cream to powder type of deal. They just look so silky smooth. Again, I love how grungy these go. And I think this or this would be a beautiful holiday look. Just saying. If you need an excuse to buy this, there you go. I just gave you one. All right, next up is the Druid palette. I like the artwork on this one a whole lot better too. These, between like this one and the Odin's Eye, I will say this packaging, it definitely feels cheaper. I mean, it still feels sturdy and everything. It still has beautiful artwork, but it doesn't feel as special as that Odin's Eye. However, these eyeshadows look like they are going to be absolutely insane. This one right here, it is so multi-dimensional, as well as this one down here. I think those are just such special shades. I love this green in the center. Again, this, out of those 2, this would be my preferred color story. But I mean, look at this. If you did a look with all 3 of those, if you did a look with like these 3, if you did a look with like just those 2 and did like a brown smoky type of an eye, I don't know. I love this palette. I cannot wait to use it. All right, I think I'm gonna save like my favorite for last. All right, this one is kind of hard for me to pronounce, and I hope that I am pronouncing it right. This is from Bella Butte Bar, I think. I think that is how you pronounce it anyway. But this is the Celestial Garden palette. I do have another palette from them on the way, because when I got this one, I was like, oh my God, this looks amazing. So then I was like stalking their site, and there was one sold out that I was interested in, and I kept checking the website, and they finally had it back on there where you could purchase it. Is the Strange and Unusual palette with like in collaboration with Beetlejuice, and it looks so cool. But anyway, this is the Celestial Garden palette. Again, beautiful packaging, artwork, feels nice. Again, not as luxe as like Odin's Eye, but I will say I do not have another palette like this in my collection, and that is why I love this so much. So first off, this is definitely like a rainbow type of a palette, right? But I feel like these shades are actually really wearable, and I cannot wait to play with them. But what is so special is these split pans down here. These are actually cake liners. So you can make like your own custom eyeliner, and I think that is so cool. Like you could have it fade from like this light purple to the dark. You can have it fade from like this lime type of green to this like more teal type of green. I don't know. I cannot wait to play with this. And I've seen other people do looks with it. It looks so fun, and I feel like it's going to make me, I don't know, just have fun with my makeup. I mean, it's art. It is like one of the only times I take out of the day for myself, and I try to make sure that I do that every single day. All right, guys, next up and lastly is probably the brand that is exciting me the most right now. I went from having 0 palettes of this brand to having 5. So let's go ahead and get into this one. And I'm talking about Unearthly Cosmetics. A long time ago, this used to be called Alien Cosmetics, and I don't remember the reason why they had to change the name, but nevertheless, it is Unearthly Cosmetics now, and they have quite a few palettes you can choose from on their website. The very first 2 I got were these 2 right here. Again, the packaging on this is phenomenal. These are like kind of weighted palettes, like they are very sturdy. Obviously, the artwork on these is absolutely insane. You guys know, if you've been around my channel, I love like horror movies and just that whole like Halloween, like spooky season. And I love this packaging. So the first one I got is the Fairy Frolic palette. And it's got like this anime looking little fairy on there. I think she's so pretty. And of course, that packaging carries over to the palette itself. Now, this one is gigantic pans, but again, if you really look at these shimmers, they are just so nice looking. I mean, look at this green. It is just so popping in the pan, right? And I think this purple is going to be a beautiful, like smoky purple eye. Just looking at this palette, I see so many different looks that I want to do with it, which is insane because I know it's only 9 pans, but I feel like the colors that they put in here, you can just do so many different options with it. And that's the thing, I really love the color stories in all of these Unearthly Cosmetics palettes. In all of these palettes actually, but these, like I said, they're just exciting me and pulling at my heartstrings. So this one is the Lore palette. As you can tell, we've got like a Medusa situation going here. Again, this one is another 9-pan palette, and this is the color story in this one. Now, I will say the fairy one, as far as the color story goes, I like that one a little bit better, but I absolutely love these 2 shades. I feel like I have no other shades like this one really here in my collection either. And I just think this is a really nice selection of shades. I think it adds to my collection, and I'm happy to have it. Okay, so that was all that I had intended on picking up from Unearthly Cosmetics, and then they released like their fall, like Halloween type of collection. I don't know what they're calling it, but let me just show you the artwork on these. So first off, you have like a Vampira here, super cool. Then you have this crazy chick from The Craft, again, super duper cool. And then you have like, is it Aaliyah? I believe it was Aaliyah in, is it Queen of the Damned? I think is the name of the movie. I've only seen that one time in my whole life, and I did fall asleep watching it. I should try to watch that one again. But anyway, the artwork on these is super cool. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this biggest one, which is called Warms My Blood. This one did come to me damaged. However, I did my best to fix it, and I'm not gonna contact the brand just because, like I said, this is an indie brand, and a lot of this stuff they are doing, you know, just with actual people in house. They're not sending this out to factories a lot of the time. So I don't know. I wanted to be mindful of that. But this shade right here up at the top is the one that came damaged to me. Obviously, it was a mess whenever I got this, but I did clean it up the best I could. And these shades, again, they are so multi-dimensional. Like, I'm talking about this purple right here. Do you see that shade shifting? When you first look at it, it looks purple, and then you shift it and it looks like gold. You shift it another way, it looks like green. Anyway, it's just such an interesting palette. All right, next up, I'm gonna go into the Vampira one here, and I'm gonna save the Craft one for last because that is my favorite one. And here is the color story on this one. A lot of greens and purples, pinks, obviously, and yeah, I mean, I absolutely love it. I actually cannot wait to go into these more like pastel matte shades here, and I love this green as well. I just think you can have so much fun with these palettes. All right, and then last off, and probably my very favorite palette that we're going to talk about today is the one from The Craft. And guys, this is like perfection in my opinion. I mean, you've got like muted purples and berries, you've got like a pink row, and then you have got like this dark green grungy yumminess. You've got some crease shades in here, you've got some shades to deepen this up, and then you have got all kinds of beautiful shimmers in here as well. Again, looking at this, I can see so many different looks that I want to do with it, and I mean, the whole thing is just, I don't know what else to say about this one. I think is going to be one of my favorite palettes in my whole entire collection. It is already, even though I haven't used it, just because I love everything about this palette. All right, guys, so that is all that I have for you today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I love talking about palettes. I hope that you guys enjoy this type of content. If you do, you'll have to let me know down below. Also, let me know again down below if there's any of these palettes you guys want to see a look with sooner rather than later. I would love to get it up for you. I hope that you guys have a good day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.